Hello, my name is Shulamit, and I'm the creator of the MetaSounds process. Every Sunday at noon, I host a Zoom meeting for us to explore wisdom teachings and experience the healing power of MetaSounds. These meetings are made possible by generous donors. Please help this site thrive by liking and subscribing, and please join our newsletter at greatoctave.com to receive notices of our events. Okay, welcome everybody. There is an ongoing problem with the company that sends out my newsletter. Their system just completely crashed. It's been about 5 days since it's not operating, which means that I haven't been able to send out a newsletter. I don't know what's going to happen, but I would suggest that you look at the website if you have any question as to whether the meditation is going to happen or not. But we're probably going to have less people today because most people did not receive an invitation from me, and so would probably therefore assume that nothing is going on. But we can still proceed as usual. Okay. So today we're going to do a combination of sounding in preparation for silent meditation. And probably you guys already know this, but the virtue of quieting your mind is that it allows you to actually see much deeper into the nature of things, and you can feel very often an abundant, sustaining reality that you can connect to. In other words, it allows you to feel the connection that many of us lack in our daily lives. As we go about the normal routines of life, we can forget why we're here. We can become despondent or feel that we lack meaning. We can become very fearful and subject to the manipulations of people who like to control us through fear. So getting to a place inside of ourselves, which is quiet, which basically means that during the time that you are quiet, your narratives, your stories that you're constantly telling yourself about the people you meet, about the work that you're doing, about your background, your family, your loved ones, and so forth, is going on all the time. And it's peopled by villains and sense of virtue. I mean, you might be the one who's dumping on yourself, or you may feel there are other people who are behaving very unjustly, and you can get pretty fired up about it. I'm not saying that it's wrong to participate and to have opinions and to get fired up. I'm saying that you have to clear up the narrative that you tell yourself in order to allow new ideas to come in, or more importantly, in this case, to allow yourself to feel this abundant, sustaining reality that's always there and that is always accessible to you if you could stop talking to yourself long enough to hear it. So we have a lot of aspects to our nature. Our soul can be seen, although it's one soul, can be seen as having different parts to it. You know, the part of us that's the animal soul that, well, does things that all animals do. We look for food. I mean, obviously we do it in a more sophisticated way than perhaps we did, thousands of years ago, which was primarily through hunting. But, we take care of ourselves, our physical body, get a roof over our head, get food, prepare for our future, our retirement, and so on. And in some ways, we're not that different from the squirrel who is collecting little acorns to help them carry themselves through the winter, And that part of us can feel a great deal of pleasure. The pleasure of friendship, the pleasure of company, the pleasure of sex, the pleasure of food, the pleasure of a good experience, watching a movie, going to a play, and so forth. But there's another side to it. When we're deprived of the things that we care about, we can feel a deep sense of loss and actually feel great pain and disappointment. And this is true from the time we're children. You could see a little child having a precious toy or doll break or be taken from them, and the wails and the crying. While it might seem, I don't know, a little silly to us, it's only over a toy or a doll, it's pretty intense for the child. It's the loss of something valued. And we feel that and we suffer when that happens. And we begin to understand that many of the things that please us are very, very temporary in nature. So we begin to seek for something more. Our soul begins to seek, we begin to seek. And in our dreams, we go out, we go into the dream world, perhaps into the angelic world sometimes, and sometimes we receive messages. Not all dreams are psychological. Some come from another source, and I think that when we have those dreams, we know it. And I'm pretty sure almost everybody has that experience of getting messages in their dreams that don't seem to conform to psychological issues. So that's the part of our yearning. It's the part of us that departs while we sleep to go visit with the beings of the other realms to educate ourselves. But what we're really seeking is to connect to the higher soul. The higher soul is the place, well, first of all, it's the place that receives direct messages from the heavens. It knows things. I'm not talking about knowledge like data points or scientific knowledge or, what's happened here or there. It knows in a wisdom way what you need, what is happening to you, why you're here, so forth. And it's pretty quiet. For one thing, the noise of our narrative just drowns it out. And the teaching is that the higher soul speaks very softly and never repeats itself. So what you have is throughout your life, at different points and different levels of intensity, you have this desire to connect. You have this desire to remember. And as Plato said, all knowledge is remembering. You want to come back to yourself. You want to go home. You want to go home. What's home? Home is a place where you feel contained, loved, protected. You want to go home. So that's our striving most of our lives. And you can achieve that, not completely, but partially through meditation. You can achieve that by being quiet inside yourself in a disciplined way, because nothing happens without effort. You have to be consistent. You want to learn how to play the piano or soccer or knit or cook or anything. It's effort. It may be pleasurable effort, but it's effort and discipline over time. And there are great rewards to be had. In addition to the meditation, I also, as you know, recommend very strongly the observation practice so that you can learn about yourself and who you really are, as opposed to what society and other people expect of you and how you look and how much money you make and all the rest of it. You want to get to your core, to your center. And that's a methodical, slow process. These things are very, very rewarding. And they're imperative because it's always imperative because as we go through life, we have a lot of shocks. I don't think anybody escapes from it. Things can go really well, but there'll also be shocks. We can be very strong, but we will also be vulnerable, and we will be shocked sometimes when something really bad happens to us. So you need certain kind of stability to be able to respond to that without getting, depressed or bitter or, and the Stoic philosophy from the Greeks is very helpful. It's not that the Stoics, which we normally associate Stoicism with being, like so tough that you would never admit to pain. It's more that you don't get excited when things go really well, and you don't get really despondent when things go against you. Because everything you have, reputation, wealth, etc., can all be taken away. And the Stoic knows that and has come up with a philosophy of how to be happy by being centered in a way that's not subject to the whims of fortune. in this world that we're currently entering into, and I think it's pretty clear that this is a global phenomena, this unsettlement, this reversal of the way things have been to something new that we don't know what it is, and that there's a lot of danger and so on. It becomes even more imperative, not just for our own psyche and for our own well-being, which of course is very important, but for our ability to help others birth whatever new is coming, which hopefully will be softer, kinder, more compassionate, more related to what people really need as opposed to what they want. So this is our contribution, not only to our own happiness, but to the well-being of the world. This is how individual people begin to affect the outcome of events. And, most people don't feel like they're very powerful because, they don't affect policy. But that's not the only way to be powerful. Movements toward a better future or toward a deeper relationship with ourselves and with our intimate partners and so on, and a kinder relationship with the outside world. They come from individual effort, from lots and lots and lots and lots of individuals all going in the same way. So many people all over the world are working on this in their own form of meditation, their own form of prayer. There are many, many people who are working on this, and we owe it to ourselves and to our heirs that we soften this transition. So I'm going to begin with sounds and then ask you at the end of it to just sit with it silently for a few minutes, and you can watch your thoughts and just feel the connection to a deeper, sustaining reality. Thank you for joining me today and being part of our community. I invite you to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Time for the full live experience. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit greatoctave.com for more details about these webcasts, our newsletter, donations, and more.